kind of sick. That's so jokes. You guys ready? All right. So we got some special guests right now. Alex, take it away.
Yo, yo, yo. Hey, guys. What's going on? Welcome to Wednesday Night Fights. This is a pregame show. We're starting a little bit early because we got a special guest, my man, Tyrone Rodriguez. What's going on, man?
What's up, Alex?
It's been years.
Literally years.
Years. So before I even get into this game, guys, like, my old arcade was called Southern Hills Golfland. This is 1995 up to like 2003 when it finally 2003 when it finally closed down. This man right here is one of my arcade rats, one of my arcade homeboys that we used to play everything and anything. And it's a joy to see him here because, you know, he's one of the cats that worked on a bunch of, he worked in the gaming industry at a very young age. While I'm still there beating up on the sticks, he's kind of like writing stuff, reporting stuff, asking people how this game is, and all of a sudden he's doing magazine articles and he's working for the gaming industry. He's at like E3, and now he is. Tell people a little bit what you do and what game you brought for us.
So what I do now, well, I used to get my ass kicked by you. That's but now, over the last 11 years, we started a company called Nicalis. And what we do is we try to bring back the games that we grew up playing.
Yeah.
So, and today we brought Blade Strangers, which is a 2D fighting game that kind of harks back to the kind of games that we played where it has a very specific aesthetic and kind of a sensibility to it.
Yeah, dude. Like, one of the things of fighting games, and not every fighting game that we're going to show is a AAA blockbuster game. I'm not just about that life. I'm about, you know, bringing in any and every fighting game that like people may not have heard of, because that's how it was in the arcades. Yeah. You would literally, so you walk in the arcade, you're going to go to Street Fighter, you're going to go Mortal Kombat, right? King of Fighters.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, or any one of those, right? You're going to go to any of those, but they're going to be full.
Yeah.
Then what do? Like, you put your quarter up, but it's time. You know, you're a kid. You're like, no, I want to go play. What is this? Okay, there's some Fatal Fury. Okay, there's World Heroes Jet. There's Darkstalkers. There's right Puzzle Fighter. So you just go at it. You go ham. And today, unfortunately, there's no arcades.
No.
And unless you actively look for these games, you're never gonna really find them.
No.
Like,
different markets.
It's different markets. So here we are today. You know, Nicalis is bringing Blade Strangers out. This is actually the first North American demo.
It is. It's the first public demo with all the characters all unlocked and ready for people to play and see what they think.
Okay, cool. Let's take a look at some of the roster. I think they're at the character select screen. Okay, cool. So yeah, man, please tell us a bit of like how Blade Strangers came to be. Like, where does it come from? Where does it originate? Because I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't even. This is the first time they've even heard of the game.
It's so Blade Strangers is developed by a team in Japan, in Saitama, Studio Saizensen. And they're known previously for actually making the Kawase series, but also, most recently, before this, they had made a game called Blade Arcus, which took characters from the Shining Force universe and put them in a fighting game. We got in contact with them because we had liked their previous work, and they showed us a prototype of this. Where at the time, it was just Solange from Code of Princess and a couple other characters. And right away, it felt like these old games that we played Golfland. Just like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. I get it right away. I want to play. And it was like love at first sight. Let's figure out how to work together, and let's figure out how to have fun with this and bring characters like Isaac to a fighting game. Like the little crying, naked little baby.
Crying, naked little baby. See, like...
Look at him. Look at him.
Okay, so it kind of reminds me of you're picking Roll in Marvel 2 or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know,
that's it.
You're like playing a quirky character, and look, you're throwing little bombs out.
Spiders,
bombs, and it's so playing this game for the first time. The couple things that I always want to know is how do you sweep and how do you throw, right? Because those are the most two cheapest things in the game. And what obviously we're in the modern age. Is there any special mechanics that stand out in this game than other fighting games?
So to me, as a fighting game player, what attracted me was what the team did with the prototype was they took the dynamics of like a Street Fighter 2 or Street Fighter 3, where it's a fast-paced fighting game that requires precision and sweeps and certain attacks and distance and pacing. But then they also took the concepts of Smash Brothers, and I know that's sacrilege for some fighters, but what they did that I liked was they took out the really super complex inputs for like a quarter circle, a half circle, or a double fireball, and they turned them to directions like Smash Brothers. And that's the only thing they took from there. And they combined those two worlds so that you have a complex fighting system that you can kind of understand for beginners, and also they can get in easy and say like, okay, here's how I throw a spider, or here's how I do special moves. But then for guys like at your level, then it just keeps going.
Yeah, it's I've had the pleasure of trying it out earlier. It's very easy to get into. Like, normally the Street Fighter settings is like 6 buttons, right? And each of them you can perform a special move. But this one doesn't really require that. You can actually, there is a special button where you can tap forward or back. With that special button, it will do a different special move. And you can also do a super off of that too. So right. I mean, there's those activated. There's also like level 3s.
They're right.
Like maximum damage. Oh yeah, my mans are using it for Blade Strangers right now. Yeah, so that's one of our commentators, Mr. Ringe. But yeah, I didn't understand how to do level 3s. I just did them.
Yeah.
I did level 1s. So how about other special battle mechanics that kind of link towards each other? Is there anything special?
So you can do chain combos like traditional classic chain combos. Or for example, if you're playing on PlayStation,
right,
the light attack would be square, and so you do square, square, triangle, which triangle would be the hard attack.
Hard attack.
Or you could do, for example, square, 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 and then you push down an X and you love the sweep.
Oh yeah, the sweep. Yeah. So I've noticed that, and there's universal wake-ups too, right?
Right. There's universal wake-ups. Again, going back to the concept of you're doing a dragon punch, you're doing a flash kick, whatever it is, and you're trying to get that timing to get this. But then you don't want to distract the player with the idea of like, how do I get this input just perfect? What you're really focused on is having the player get the perfect timing, because that's really where it comes down to guys like you, where it's like you're getting the timing down. Yeah. Everything else is you're getting distracted by the minutia. So you have these wake-ups, you push it, and you can nail somebody who's trying to really keep you down.
Yeah. So who's your go-to character?
It's going to sound very cliched, but I really enjoy Curly and Quote, just because the way that the designers put them together, having worked on the console versions and published Cave Story, it was really neat to see somebody else's take on these characters that we worked really closely on. Yeah,
I remember when we were first playing. Mind you, my very first time playing this game, okay, what was the result? Versus you. You already had hands-on with this game.
Somebody lost.
And who was that?
That was me. Just like good old times.
I got lucky, or maybe he let me beat me.
Hey, I still remember driving up to San Jose.
Oh, okay, here it comes.
This is like over 20 years ago. I will not forgive this. It's like the cannons are bragging. It's like, hey, we're making these trees, for this tournament. You're not going to fight somebody you fight all week long. And then I drive up to San Jose. I stay at my friend's house. I'm like, I'm going to compete in this tournament. It's Alpha 2. I'm so excited. And then I sit down, and I look to my right, and you're wearing a white tank top, ready to kick my ass at Alpha 2. And at that point, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I went home.
So the event that he's talking about is Battle by the Bay.
Yes.
1996.
B3.
B3 is Sunnyvale Golfland. Like I told you guys in the beginning, we play at the same arcade. That's how cutthroat fighting game tournaments were back then. Because at Southern Hills Golfland, you know what the seating arrangement was? Seating was when Mr. Wizard or Jimmy Wynn, Shinjin, who's co-founder of this program, they would cut up numbers and put them in a bowl.
Yeah.
And, all right, 14. All right, that's you, Valle. 7. Watson. All right, you guys go ahead. Round 1, play. That was the seating arrangement, dude. And even though we played round 1, and then and Tyrone, he live in the same region. We're up there, and he was my first match for the Alpha 2 championships at the time.
Which you won.
Which I won.
So it was not bad losing to the guy that won. At least it's inevitable. It's like, that's it. You're juggernaut, right?
Yeah. So that's I mean, yeah, I know today now everybody needs to be seeded by region, seeded by car, seeded by like, oh, I played this guy like 3 weeks ago.
I don't want to play him again.
I don't want to play him again.
It's all right. It was good.
No, but yeah, dude, it's oh man, we can talk. Literally, we're old, man. We can talk forever in a day about how the arcades were, trade shows are, or how they were back then, how they are now. But we got a dope game to talk about. So, any special features outside, like obviously the battle system? Yeah, I see you have tutorial missions.
We do. We have tutorial, and that'll kind of show you how to play. You've got typical training, which I saw a couple players, and that's just you go in there. You can set the dummy or the AI however you want. So jump, stand, record. Traditional fighting game mechanics. The story mode will go through what you want, and as far as you get to find out each character. Since these characters are from different universes, where you have Shovel Knight, and you've got Gunvolt, and you've got Quote and Curly, Isaac, and the characters from Code of Princess. Each one has a very specific story on why everything's transpiring and what's going on. So that's interesting. And for the more traditional guys like us, it's like you can just go to arcade mode and you beat the crap out of the AI, put it on the hardest setting, and hopefully you're set. But we try to really put in kind of the mechanics of traditional fighting games where you do have a special move. As I mentioned, you push, for example, circle button and push in a specific direction. If you push circle plus triangle, you do a modified version of it. And then if you use circle plus X on PS4 and A plus B on Switch, you would do an EX version where your character's purple, uses half of the super meter, and the move is powered up, whether it's more damage, more bullets, or faster, more priority.
Yeah, like EX's enhanced version is awesome. And you just mentioned that it's also okay. So it's available on Switch soon, and PS4.
So it'll be PC through Steam.
Oh, PC. Okay,
PS4,
great.
PS4, Switch, and if you're in Japan, you'll be able to play it in game centers and arcades.
Oh, it's gonna be in the arcades.
It's gonna be in arcades. Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap.
Good.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah. Any chance of esporting this game out and Japan gets at the arcade, we're done. That's a wrap, guys. Hey, Kelby. Wrap it up, dude. That's
time for dinner.
I just no, I'm just kidding. No, that's dope because anytime the Japanese players have a game that they're really, you know how they are, man. They're perfectionists.
Yes.
And whatever, it doesn't matter if the character is low tier. They're gonna make that character the best thing we've ever seen, ever. And for them to get a chance to play it, there is still a huge community that plays primarily in the arcade. So
huge. We did a couple location tests over there in Tokyo at some of the bigger arcades.
Yeah.
And these guys were coming out. They clearly hadn't played it before. They're just kind of looking and reading the command list that we put on the side of the cabinet. But a couple matches, we're not the same guy that walked up.
Yeah.
Not the same guy.
Yeah, these guys, man. Okay, so you have multiple platforms and arcade. That's a rarity because normally
you got to go back home.
Right?
Yeah, you
got
to
go
go back.
home,
like
man.
we grew up playing arcade. Like why wouldn't we do? Like it's a very proud thing for us as a smaller publisher. It's our first kind of big fighting game, and why not take it back to where everything starts?
Yes. That's kind of how we have the model here at Wednesday Night Fights. It's the we have the popular games. Then we ask the community, hey, what else would you like to see, right? And then we take the chances of bringing new games in that they've never heard of and seeing like what the interest there is, because the fighting game community is not just about one game.
No.
It's about every game, okay? And the sooner you guys understand that, the more relief you are, because if you look at major events out there, it's not just one.
Yeah,
game.
it's everything.
It's
look at Evo.
everything.
Evo's everything. It's the Olympics. It's the
exactly right. So here's the nitty-gritty question. Net play. So it's obviously gonna have it online net battles. What kind of net code are you guys using?
Right now we're actually in like heavy testing for online netcode.
Okay.
So the team that's done it is right now we're testing it. We're going through all of it. It's you want to hear GGPO. It's not going to be GGPO, but the team is responsible for a lot of fighting games. So between what they're doing, between lockstep and rollback, I'm pretty happy with what we've seen online. We're playing with the team in Japan. We're getting pretty decent. I would say, for lack of it, less lag. And we're playing on Switch, which has a terrible antenna. So
he's being real. You know, that's what I'm saying. Yo,
that's a pretty good metric right there.
That's a pretty good metric. Yo, like, we know what we're working with whenever we have to talk about Switch.
Yeah.
But I would say that like Pokken and ARMS, Bandai Namco did an amazing job with those games.
They really did.
They knocked it out of the park. But I mean, no, like it's one of the main questions people think like, hey, what kind of netcode is it? Is it, you know, is it input lag or that, or is it rollback? Obviously, rollback in the West is our favorite.
But the Japanese love.
The Japanese love the standard, like because
the country's the size of
yeah,
California.
Look, Japan is the size of California.
Yeah, people don't realize
but
that.
100 million more people.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so
and a lot more food choices.
A lot. Oh wow. California has a lot of food choices.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, it's a good melting pot of stuff. But you know, regardless though, it can be done right. You know, some people did like the Street Fighter 4 netcode. You know, when it was out, and me, I didn't favor it as much. Street Fighter 5, I think it's better netcode when it works. When it works. But some people don't like that type of rollback. So
it's tough too now because, as I said, when you're working with Switch or you're working with PC, obviously the PC guys are generally going to most of the time have the biggest advantage because if you're playing on a tower, you're playing on a laptop, true PC guys are probably going to plug in.
Yeah.
They're gonna plug in. Whereas a console guy should plug in, but on the Switch, you want to take it with you. That's the appeal of it. That's the appeal of it. You want to take it with you. So there's some concessions to be made. But I've been pretty happy with what I've seen from Science. And unfortunately, it's not their first fighting game. And they've also, even before they did Blade Arcus, they had done Code of Princess, which also had netcode. Okay. So they've got some experience.
Awesome. And so talk about netcode. How about, can you talk about any of the special features for a lobby, or is it a lobby system?
There is a lobby system, so we have it set up right now where you'll be able to pick specific, like a traditional fighting game. So you'll be able to go into lobby, get a quick match, get a casual match, literally casual match, get a ranked match, and just go in and give it a try, and multiple people can come in.
Okay. Oh, awesome. Cool. So then you'll have will be like a 4-man, 8-man lobby?
Right now, you can set up each lobby, at least in debug, you'll be able to set up the lobby on kind of the parameters that you want for each one.
Okay. So however many? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
So that way you can lock people out.
Okay, yeah, lock people out, and that way you can run online tournaments.
You can run online tournaments.
And have people. Yeah, I always tell every publisher too, like, hey guys, make a spectator lobby because you want your game to be viewed by streamers right away. Yeah. Right? Because I mean, obviously that's as free promotion as you're going to get post-launch.
And they're fun to watch.
They're fun to watch.
Fighting games are naturally spectator sport.
And you know what else they need to think about is that is a QA job stream because that is where they're going to be like writing their notes. They'll be like, come to work, I'm just going to watch streams. Yeah, what's YA doing right now? Let me see if he's breaking the game. Oh, yeah, we got to fix that. But not this patch. Well, that's Q3 patch.
Or they find how you're breaking it and they don't tell anybody.
They don't tell anybody.
Like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that.
We're going to keep that in.
Yeah.
You know?
That, we literally had a beta tester with one of our previous games. He found a thing in one of our games, and I won't say what, but he kept it to himself for it was in there for like 2 months, and we finally caught it. But yeah,
this is nerd QA talk, man. Because I mean, you're still in the industry, but like when I was in there, I'm like, oh my god, you guys are out of control. Okay, but no, thank you for the information about modernizing or keeping it modern with the online features. Is there a story mode?
There is, there is a story mode, and it'll encompass the different characters. So you can see, for example, right now you see Helen and you see Isaac. Each character will have a story similar to how they have special moves that you would think like, okay, that special move makes sense because this character is from this game.
Yep.
Their story would also be kind of tied to the game. Like, for example, like with Quote and Curly, they make reference to Cave's story, and Isaac, he's always scared of his mom because she's trying to kill him.
Yeah, maybe I think you guys want to see a bigger screen of the match right now. Kelby, can you hook him up? Got it.
Yeah, so here you see Isaac versus Helen, and Helen's one of the original characters that we came up with for the game that we really wanted to do something that was kind of like a Rushdown type of character where it's like you look at characters like old Fei Long or Captain America, and they were really fun to like get in and out. And I love Candy, so she has sensibilities from different characters right there. And then Isaac's just crazy because he's shooting tears at you.
Yeah, he's always crying. So like, what's the lore behind? I mean, not in this game, but his game.
So
why is he crying?
In his game, his mom's religious, and God speaks to her, and it's a retelling of the binding of Isaac from the Old Testament, where God tells Isaac's father, to prove your love to me, I want you to kill your son. And
Wow.
so his mom has to kill him, and he jumps into the basement, and you go through the game, and he eventually fights Satan and hopefully kills Satan. No spoilers, but that's the basic lore to it, where it's a little kid, and he's concerned that his mom might try to stab him. So he has mom's knife in this as as one of his weapons.
Okay. Wow. Man, you guys are deep in the lore. Whoa.
It's a good time. It's fun wrapping around characters and stories and coming up with there's a pick right there that he has from his game, where if you use it in his game, you'll actually dig through the ground and go to the next level. So there's right there the troll bomb, which is an upgraded version of the bomb, which is also in his game. And it's the powered up version of the bomb, and it follows your opponent, so it's kind of like a homing bomb.
Okay. Now, now that we have a better view of the battle screen, so we see the traditional super meters in the bottom. What about the that white gauge under the life bar?
So the white gauge under the life bar, if you watch, whenever a combo gets started, it's a kind of a unique method that the team came up with to prevent scrubby combos.
Scrubby combos.
So basically,
But we love scrubby combos, man. What do you mean by that? You know, I like my jab, 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 fierce, and then something cool happens. What's up?
So each specific attack, whether it's a light attack, a hard attack, a variable, a special move, whatever you're doing in there, a super attack, will have a certain amount of value that it deducts, almost like a guard meter from like Alpha 2, and it'll. Alpha 3 had it too. It's been a long time.
Alpha 3 is the guard meter.
Yeah, the guard crush.
Yeah, the guard
and so this isn't a guard crush. It doesn't happen when you're blocking. It actually happens when you're getting comboed. And so you'll notice, depending on the combo, what'll happen is eventually when the meter depletes, you can no longer combo that person. They've been knocked down.
Oh, okay. So it's in a way it's I don't want to say hit deterioration, but
in a way,
in a way,
it's a more aggressive hit deterioration for combos.
I'm thinking like infinite protection.
Kind of,
yeah, okay.
kind of infinite protection. But you can also, using the cancel move by using the R2 on, again, I'm referencing the PS4 version.
PS4, okay.
The character will use up one whole meter of their super. You'll cancel it. That does not deteriorate this meter that you see up the top.
Oh.
And then you switch the buttons that you use so you don't get. They have a repetition penalty.
Oh.
So, for example, if you were doing jab, 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 you would actually your combo would immediately get deducted because you were just spamming.
Okay.
So there's clever ways to extend it, and then basically you can find ways to like maximize that to get as much damage as possible before they get knocked down.
Okay.
And then you have the heat up right here, which gets, as you get closer to dying, it effectively becomes like Juggernaut type of armor where you set it up right here, so you see the heat up. You're able to use your EX and moves much faster, and you don't even have to bother to block because during that time you will break out of an attack. There's no recoil.
Oh wow. Oh wow. Yeah, it's still raining. Yeah. Oh yeah. We have my man from Razer came out with another.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Dragon Ball stick. Yeah, we gave one away last week. So I don't know what the game that we're playing is this time, but we'll figure it out later. So the heat up, you're saying it's infinite armor?
It's as the heat up meter is depleting. You have a different armor system so that you'll be able to be more aggressive and try to catch up. You can still take damage, but it's kind of like imagine multiple focus attacks from SF4.
Oh, okay.
So you just keep rushing down.
So does the damage that you intake, is it recoverable?
It's not. In this case, it's not. No,
okay,
it's not. So you have to be very strategic on how much damage can I take. But all it takes is one hit, and then they're stuck in their animation, and they're recoiling, and then all of a sudden it's an opening for you to be able to do a combo.
Got it. Okay, so you guys have implemented like kind of a comeback feature, or before somebody just gets knocked silly.
Yeah, but it's not. To me, it's not as egregious as something like a revenge.
Yeah.
Where like, oh no, you got the revenge. All of a sudden, the strategy in the match changes, and you're worried about like, okay, I've got to try to goad you into using that thing.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there's ways where you can bait out the armor.
Right.
And they're stuck, and oh man, I thought he was gonna do this, but I took too much damage. Maybe I should slow down. Can you still block in that mode?
You can still choose to block.
Okay.
You can still choose to block, but the benefit is obviously is to try to intimidate the other person. But as you see, like you'll be able to, both players can kind of play mind games at that point.
Sure.
It changes the strategy immensely right there at that point.
That's a lovely character you guys got.
Yeah, you got
there.
Princess Solange right here.
Solange, man.
Solange is a very unique character in that she was designed by Kino Nishimura, the uber famous. She did all the artwork for, she worked with Vengus and Akiman, and she did most of the Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 3 artwork.
Oh, nice.
All the famous Street Fighter 3 character poses and portraits were done by Kina Nishimura. So we have a close relationship with her, and so does Saizen. And she created this character for Coda Princess. And the reason she's wearing those pasties and kind of like very light armor, she's the tank in Coda Princess, and all the other characters are making fun of her. She doesn't realize. She says, "I thought this is the holy armor I'm supposed to wear," and everybody's like, "No, girl, like you should put some clothes on."
You guys with the troll lore, man. I love it.
I heard Coda Princess was actually a pretty good beat 'em up on the DS.
Coda Princess is a lot of fun. We're actually releasing an EX upgraded version on Switch later this year, and that game was.
Oh wait, I thought it came out already.
No, it's coming out pretty soon, and I've got codes for you guys. It was designed by one of the guys responsible for Guardian Heroes.
Wow,
so it's like a spiritual.
Oh, that's
successor.
why I heard it was so good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and we took
that ugly foot.
the ugly
that's
mom with the warts and the boils on there.
Oh wow!
That's straight out of Isaac right there. That's one of her attacks.
Straight
and the
outta
voice,
Isaac,
the VO.
yep.
We got the character. We got the actress from Isaac to do the VO. There you go. Look at this. See? So right there, he dropped the bomb, and it kind of broke her pressure right there.
Ooh.
So, sorry, I'm just popping into the conversation real quick.
Sure.
Is there anything you could spend your meter on except supers?
So you can spend your meter on supers, you can spend them on EXs, you can spend them on the heat up, and you can spend them on the kind of the equivalent of like what people would consider the guard cancels or the guard breaks.
Oh, okay.
Any special properties with throws in this game, or just straightforward?
Throws beat supers.
Throws beat supers. Throws can be canceled after you throw. If you have the right timing to cancel out and start a combo.
Oh, okay.
Depending on how the character throws.
Every throw or some throws?
So depending on it's just about every throw has an opportunity. It just depends on how much opportunity you have based on on your timing.
Okay.
So you can cancel out, you can throw, you cancel right away, you jump in the air, you do a hard attack, and then you could do a super if you have an aerial super, or you could start a combo and then juggle them once you've landed if you land before they do. There's that foot again for you, Alex. Oh, that's a nice finish right there.
So, here's a technical question. How do you guys handle balance in this game? Or is it more of like, just go ham, we're going to make it completely OP for every character as we possibly can? Or how do you guys figure out?
Just through heavy testing with the team at Saizensen, they are true fighting game people. They're not just making a fighting game there. And I hope this is true for people making other fighting games and racing games, what other genres. But they go through, we play with them, we spend a lot of time together. There's things, to that point about balancing, there's things that we could have done, or we did, were possible to do in terms of combos last year and even a few months ago that they've been tuning out and they've been rebalancing.
Okay.
With Curly Bracer Machine Gun, they've slowed down the pace of it, how fast it comes out.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that girl that jumps back and does that beam gun thing.
Yeah, Curly. She's my favorite.
I can see that was probably toned down a bit.
Yeah.
And it's still a little ridiculous to deal with.
It's still, and the way that, again, in terms of balance, like you'll notice she's a faster character, but her damage is a lot less than, say, like a Helen or a Solange, where like she's going to hit you. So they have been spending a lot of time with the balance. If they see combos that aren't supposed to happen in theory, they adjust how those special moves are, the timing for the take hit, for how the character is recoiling, for the recovery.
I like asking that question because I'm going to be honest, fighting games, it's almost impossible to balance. It really is. It's like, what we had to deal with is like broken OP stuff is probably the funnest fighting games we've ever played.
That's true.
Right? The more balanced it is, doesn't mean that they're more boring. It's just you feel that like there's less creativity sometimes because everybody can do it.
It's like the Virtua Fighter versus Tekken school of thought, where it's like Virtua Fighter's very methodical and very precise, and like you have specific frames that you can do for like Akira combos, and then you get Tekken and you're just doing this with Eddie Gordo with XO.
That's the earlier one for sure.
I'm talking. Sorry, sorry for you kids. Grandpa Ty's talking about.
No, you're right. Like Tekken, it was. You only needed, they had like 80, 100 moves per character.
Yeah.
And Tekken like 2, Tekken 3, and you only use like maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's all you need.
That's all you need, like back then. Now, it turned into Virtua Fighter, like the way that the pacing goes and everything. So like, I mean, the game it's like, what, 20 years almost? It's
originally appeared as an arcade game, and then it was one of the kind of launch titles for PS1, like the original PlayStation.
No, really great answer. I mean, I like to hear the involvement from the developers and just kind of like it's not their first fighting game. They know what they're doing. They're the examples that you gave, like the gun, and that I can totally see these things because I would give people like the most thing like I would give them just a bunch of shit of trying to get in, right? Because I like zoner characters, right? And like, oh, you can never get in? Okay, maybe we have to tone down either the damage, the speed of this thing, or go to the other character and give them a tool that can get around it sort of a little bit better. So yeah, it's those little tweaks. Which leads to my next question. We're in the modern age now. Is there, once the game is out, is there possibilities of patches and updates to curate the game? Maybe if something broken is found?
Historically, with our games that we develop, co-develop, and that we publish, I'm a firm believer in like it's out and we try to make it as perfect as possible. But again, to issues of balance, for example, with The Binding of Isaac, we've been the original version of Rebirth came out in 2014. Wow, that's a long time ago.
Oh wow!
And we've been patching it. We just did a free DLC a few months ago, and we're always balancing it and looking what people are doing. And if people come back and say, "Oh, this is really unfair. Oh, this is too easy," we'll go back. And with this, Saizensen, this is their baby, and it is for us too. I want to make sure that this thing comes out, and if people are finding out, it's like, "Oh, I can do this really crazy thing with the jump kick with Shovel Knight." We want to make sure we fix it because if people aren't having fun, then we failed.
Yeah, it's a love-hate really when in balancing. I would give it, me personally, I would let it rock for at least 6 months to a year because remember, broken things were broken, but then it made the player kind of like legit find ways to get around with it. But the arcade era, it took a long time because you actually had to get out of your house to go there.
Yeah, you had to go to a location test or something.
Yeah, you had to go to a location test and figure out if there is a way to beat that thing. And that took a long time. Maybe, the 6 months is probably the sweet spot, 6 to 3 months. But it's always a good conversation because, all AAA games have that issue. Like, Street Fighter, now it has 2 updates a year. Tekken is kind of in a weird situation where it might have 1 per year, but they're very, very tight-knit on how they do the balancing because it's just too many damn moves.
It's a lot to take over. Unfortunately, I feel personally that we put in just enough characters to start. Like this is like we're introducing Blade Strangers and we put in this cool set of characters. But it's not too many necessarily to balance. Like it'll never be perfect in any game, in fighting game. But it's enough for people can have fun and switch around and learn all the different characters. Because a lot of the fun is learning how you play when you're using one character versus another. But we won't have that issue. But I absolutely agree with you. It's like I want to give the players time to see what they do. But the cool thing about today's player is that it seems like there's a lot more sharing of information. Where back in the arcade era, people would keep those secrets.
Like,
I'm not going to tell you.
I'm not going to
tell you for a tournament.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like,
how'd you do it?
I
don't know. I got lucky. I got lucky. Yes!
The Dalsim from Alpha 2. Remember the Dalsim and Watson doing the what move was it? It was like an unstoppable super. It's like double fireball with kick. And he'd go up in the air and he'd slam you. And then if you did it again, you could do it again. And you could do it again.
Oh yeah.
That wouldn't fly now.
Oh, this is. Watson always finds the cheapest thing at the time. That's what he was known for. He was finding all the dirty stuff. So so you mentioned you have a good roster of characters on launch. Any plans to increase that roster down the road?
Right now, we don't have any plans necessarily to increase it, but it's something that we would do right away. If people are down with the game and they love it, if they love the game and they're like, hey, can you add this character, or would you add a new character, would you do this, or could you add an alternate version of this? I've very much enjoyed the kind of the breaking down of the barrier between developers / publishers and players who play these games, where now we have a dialogue and we can talk to each other and say like, hey, it would be really cool to see this and this and this. And that makes it a lot more fun to go back and do it because people are really looking forward to it. And if we did, I would do my best to make sure that it wouldn't be paid DLC. I don't like paid DLC in my games. I really hate it. So
you're the realest of the real, bro.
So for a fighting game, like if we do a cool new character, I want the most people to be able to play, use that character, and fight against that character.
All right, we're just about the half-hour mark. I think, Kilby, I think at this time we would love to ask the chat, the viewers, to see if they have any questions about Blade Strangers. I think we can do a quick Q&A.
Yeah.
See what they how they feel. What
Sure.
they're saying. Yeah.
You heard them, chat. Let me get a notepad out if I see good questions.
Yeah, and they can even tweet at us too.
Yeah.
Put
Let's get that Discord going too.
WNF. Oh, you got Discord?
Yeah,
No,
there is a Discord for Blade Strangers if you do !Blade.
Oh, there it is.
Shout out to Catfi for giving me a link. Okay, everybody's been asking this actually. When is it coming?
Okay.
It's coming this summer.
This summer.
You don't have a date.
Summer 2018.
No date yet.
No, we haven't announced an exact date, and my PR guy's probably going to kill me for that. But it will be this summer.
Will it be released at the same time in all 3 systems?
That's the plan. We much prefer simultaneous releases for all our releases. It just makes it a lot. Why punish one player versus another? So short version, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Will there be English voices?
There won't be English voices.
Yeah, get wrecked.
There won't be English
Yeah,
voices.
get wrecked.
I'm sorry. I just
Look, I don't know about you, but Shovel Knight in Japanese makes me laugh so hard. I love it.
Why does that make you laugh?
Because
Does he normally have an English voice?
because
No, he has no-
by Americans. Yeah.
he has no voice, and
He
he's
has no voice.
he's developed by an American team.
Oh,
the game.
I didn't know the lore.
Yeah, Shovel Knight is developed in America, so hearing him dubbed is funny.
Yeah, it's like you're playing your favorite anime fighter.
Any characters in the work? I think that got answered.
None right now. Right now, I think we have a really solid, fun fighting game with a really cool roster. But if anybody in chat or anybody has suggestions, I am very much open to it, and the rest of the team is open to it.
All right, couple of questions about training. Wait, hold on. Let me catch up. Will training mode have frame data or hitbox display?
I have to check with the team because I believe we might have some of that accessed in debug.
Okay.
So I need to see what they're going to put in there.
All right.
Damn,
Damn, this chat is moving fast.
Can Tyrone can work for every publisher, please? Look at these answers are quick, man.
Have you thought of doing a simple mode and a normal mode for inputs? This game is already pretty simple enough, if you ask me.
I think it starts off pretty simple. So until you play it, I would reserve judgment as far as like thinking it's super complex. The complexity comes in the depth of the game, how you're playing a fighting game.
Actually, I just wanted to put this out there. I was mashing a little bit earlier before you guys came on, and I have to say, it feels like a solid fighter.
Thank you.
Like a real fighting game, but it's like a good middle ground between, like, you know how Dive Kick was an oversimplified fighting game?
Yeah.
And we have like super complex fighting games. This game feels like a really good middle ground. It's got the mind games with just enough execution for it to be like not too dumb, dumbed down, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much. I will share that with the team. They'd be super excited to hear that. They're probably watching from Japan right now because it's in Japan. It's morning or just a little bit after morning. So they're probably watching over there.
Tanoshii desu.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Yeah, I remember I would have to stay after QA to make sure that they sign off on the things that I turn in.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I think I got to go home at 7? No.
No, working with Asia's like 2 days
No,
in a row every
man.
day.
You gotta
Will there be a physical release?
There will be a physical release, so you'll be able to get this digitally.
Can you hook me up?
I will hook you guys up.
Oh, man.
Alex, too,
I was
of course.
half joking, but sure. Thank you. Can you... There was a lot of things in the chat about like, oh, put this character in the game, put this character in the game.
That's what I love to see. I love people to get excited because if we get 1,000 ideas, all we need is one good one, and it's like we got to put that character in there.
I saw Sans from Undertale. I saw Shantae. I saw Icy. I don't know if you played Icy. I haven't either.
I haven't yet.
You heard of it though? Because I've seen it on Steam.
Is it good?
I don't know. It's supposed to be one of those like fourth wall breaking games. I heard.
The other thing I haven't mentioned that was in some ways unique to a fighting game, and it's a smaller point, but the whole soundtrack, while the game was developed in Japan, the soundtrack is done by an American rock band, by Ridiculon.
Oh,
so that's why it has a very specific sound where, like, if you've heard Japanese rock, you love it or hate it.
Yeah,
I can put it.
Yeah, it could be so
polarizing.
obscure and polarizing, and a lot of crying.
Yeah.
Jazz
yeah.
Jack.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But this is done by it's done by the team that did the soundtrack to The Binding of Isaac. So it's a team out in on the East Coast, and they are just incredible with the guitar and the drums. So the combination between the two has been pretty cool.
Someone mentioned Jazz Jackrabbit, and I'm losing my head.
Oh
right
wow,
now.
that is isn't that a Cliffy B? That's the old green rabbit, right? From like
yeah.
the Epic days.
Oh my God, Jazz Jackrabbit.
Gotta hit a Epic.
Damn, they're already getting a request for me to be a special guest in Blade Stranger.
I'll put in a special code so I can beat Alex for sure then.
Okay.
Yeah, vintage Valle?
Yeah.
With the wife beater?
With the wife beater.
Here's an interesting one. How did you decide on the roster for this game? Did you go for the most popular ideas or whichever would be the easiest to get?
No, I would say it was neither. I wanted to go for, and I keep using this word because I really believe in it, I wanted to go for, and the rest of the team as well, the most fun, where it's like, hey, I want to see, what is this character versus this character, where it's almost like the anti-Smash in a way, where you see these really cool characters and like I didn't expect them to ever be together, like Shovel Knight and Isaac fighting together in a graveyard. What the hell is going on? Or Curly Braid, like, did you ever, if you play K-Story, you want to see who's better, Quote or Curly? Well, now you're able to find out.
I'm losing my mind over the possibility of Gunvolt versus Curly, or Gunvolt versus Quote. Like, what? Oh man, the protagonist from Furry? That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, keep those going.
Where's the Meat Boy DLC?
Oh my gosh. Meat Boy would be a great little red cube running around, like throwing razor blades at you.
Oh my God, that sounds terrible.
And he dies with one hit.
He dies with one hit. He just dissipates.
He just
that. Now a little flow picture comes out just laughing at you.
Is there going to be crossplay? I'm expecting a no, but
right now to my knowledge, there won't be crossplay. I love crossplay, but there's logistical issues with. I think Sony does not allow crossplay, and that's what I've heard. I would have to check with Sony. But there's other issues with it. It's like, what if you're on PC, you're playing against a guy with Switch, and the guy's walking around and he's like using his phone Wi-Fi.
Yeah. I feel like there's way too many problems there.
I love the idea of just getting more players, but if the playing field is not fair or equal, it creates a system where for one player they might not enjoy the experience.
Yeah, I think it's more a specific case, like Street Fighter 5, for instance, has crossplay with PS4 and PC only.
PC only.
Because there's no Xbox, there's no Switch version, so things like that. Non-fighting game-wise, I think Fortnite is everything.
Fortnite's everything. Right?
That is ridiculous. But that's a whole different engine.
For what it's worth, actually, Rocket League.
Oh, and Rocket League too, right?
Yeah, Rocket League crossplays PC and PS4, or PC and Switch, or PC and Xbox.
Yeah,
and I think the difference with those two games you mentioned, the issue there, not issue, but when you're pulling in millions and millions and millions of active players a month, you can tell Nintendo and Sony, hey, do you want this on your console? Then you're going to give me a waiver on this thing that you normally don't allow, because otherwise I just won't put it on your console. You're
you know all the tricks in the trade. You know all the tips and tricks.
Oh no! Yes! Oh my God!
You know all the tips and tricks,
and only you and I get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that.
You don't know the lore, dude. You do not know the lore. You don't know about the Andrews and the Cockburns.
Oh my gosh, that's great! All those stories. That's Wednesday night fights after dark.
That's
right?
after. Oh yeah.
He had some. Good
We'll talk off air on that one, man.
Woo!
Yes.
So I want to ask the chat, what do you guys think right now with these characters? What are you seeing in here? Do you like what you're seeing? You guys have any feedback? I want to know what the chat's thinking about the game. And who's your favorite character in the cast right now that you've seen so far?
Old men jokes. Yeah,
old man jokes. That's
trust
right.
me, we're trying to refrain, guys.
I'm kind of biased for Quote, but yeah. I already told you I'm a big Cave Story guy.
Quote's one of my favorites in this one too. The design's very unexpected for how they made it.
Quote is pretty cool. Like
Isaac.
I didn't expect Quote to have a run cancel.
Yeah, he's got a really cool run cancel and a couple other things where you can actually, when you're doing that, you can do a couple other things in that move.
I feel like the run. I haven't figured out how to make the run cancel good yet, but at least I can make my opponent scared for a minute.
That's the thing, and I think it just comes down to trying to mix it up and keep your opponent wondering what you're going to do next. Gunvolt, Shovel Knight.
I got a personal question, actually.
Sure.
I feel like this will help the viewers also. This is basically like a Nicalis Is that how you pronounce it? Nicalis?
Nicalis.
Nicalis. Holy crap! I've been pronouncing it wrong this entire time. Is this basically like a Nicalis crossover fighter? It's a bunch of Nicalis games, right?
It's not. It has some of the characters that we've worked with, but mostly it has like super friends. It has friends with people we're really close with. Like so, Saizensen, the developers of Code of Princess, it has that roster in there. It has the Kawase characters, and then from games we've worked on, we brought in Isaac and the Cave Story characters, and then we talked to our friends at Yacht Club Games about Shovel Knight. So and as well as Inti Creates, who we're good friends with for Gunvolt. So we've kind of put together. It would look like it is, but it actually isn't. So it's various characters from other developers we really respect and get along with.
So the games represented, we got Code of Princess, Shovel Knight, Cave Story, Gunvolt, Isaac, Kawase.
Kawase, right?
And that's it.
And
that's a lot. That's a lot of games, dog.
That's a lot. That's a lot of indie games.
That's a lot of games, bro.
Oh my God! I saw Cuphead and Travis Touchdown suggestions.
Oh, that'd be hilarious, Cuphead.
Yo, Cuphead, I think would fit in this game for some reason.
Well, if Isaac does,
yeah, Cuphead would. That's for sure. No, but like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you. So Switch games, especially more fighters on Switch, it gives me something else to do on these trips because SF30th just came out, and I just got that one on the Switch.
What'd you think?
So the offline experience obviously is much better than the online experience. I'm still figuring out speed differences here and there on some of the games like Super Turbo. That's definitely different. But overall, it seems pretty good.
But they didn't put in Street Fighter Alpha 2 Gold, and they didn't put in Street Fighter 3 Max.
Yeah, so
like some of the choices
here's my take on that. I don't really give a shit because we never played those in the arcade.
That's true.
And
Actually,
those games,
and those are all based on the arcade. Yeah,
and,
you're right.
And those games were full, complete. Like there were like a overhaul of systems to balance it out, and it just made a lot of characters very stale. But I didn't know the potential of the new characters. That's probably a missed opportunity there. But they had a ton of modes. There's just no way they were gonna put those modes.
That's true, yeah.
There's just no way.
Not for $40 too.
No, not for $40. Like if you want like I think Alpha 3 had the World Warrior Tour.
Dramatic battle.
Where
you would go and you'd beat the crap out of a poor AI with another AI.
Yeah. So there's like a ton of different like things you can do. But I'm content with just the pure arcade.
It's fun. It's fun.
So
and you get to play Street Fighter. How did a game so bad come out with a sequel so good?
Yeah.
Like I went back to play it, and I'm thinking for sure as a kid, Street Fighter couldn't have been that bad. Maybe my memory's wrong. It couldn't have. And then I went to play it like, wow, it's really, really.
Yeah. So like, again, if, playing this on Switch, where I don't have to have a one-frame execution pad. I don't really need that right now.
And you don't need to do
on the pad.
Inputs.
I can't do it on the pad.
Well, you don't need to. That's the
yeah.
Other
You
thing.
can do it on.
Yeah. So you just do the direction,
Yep.
and you still get the precision without having to get stuck in between get your thumb stuck between two buttons. That should be a
so
pad.
like when Kyobi and I go work on our next event, and we're gonna be on a plane.
Playing Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Yeah, he's going to be playing. Yeah, I'm going to tell him to bust out freaking Blade Strangers. I'm like, yo, dog.
Yo, I'd be down.
Yeah, see? You will play right next to each other.
I love you, Capcom, but that game is not the most playable on Switch. At least on the Joy-Cons.
You need to get the
it's because they're true to the
it's true.
execution.
And,
the inputs.
And on top of that, like the D-pad is not a D-pad.
Yeah.
But like this game is very Joy-Con friendly.
Yeah, we're always generally testing at the office with Joy-Con just because it's easier to get around, and most people are going to be playing like that. But obviously, we support fight sticks. We have, I don't know, like 20 or 30 fight sticks at the office stacked up whenever we need them.
Is there an official like developer-sanctioned arcade stick layout?
Right now, in terms of how the buttons should be laid out,
yeah.
I would have to ask Mr. Kondo about that, specifically how he thinks the buttons should be laid out.
Because I feel like box layout is the best way. But it feels kind of weird because some of the button combinations are like both punches have medium kick, so to speak.
So all the inputs too, like for example, when you're doing the super and you're doing the cancel, like you're talking about, you only need 4 buttons. So it could be like, was it MVC2 that took out the 6 buttons? So you could stick to those, but obviously there's an advantage to having a super button. And it's just a little bit faster for in case you accidentally push 2 buttons instead of 3 buttons. You want to always make sure you get that exact one.
I was pushing 4.
And then
it didn't work at 2. I went boom, and it worked.
Yeah.
It was funny. Like, we had no move lists for these arcade games back then.
Nothing.
So we had to use our creative thought. Okay, this guy's going upwards. Okay, maybe it's like a guile flash kick. Okay, this guy's going left and right in the screen. Maybe it's a sonic boom.
Yeah.
Like, we had to literally figure out these damn moves. And sometimes we added extra movement to get them out.
Yeah.
That was
the first time
thing.
when I learned how to do the Shoryuken, some guy told me it's a walking Hadouken. So Hadouken, it's quarter circle. So when I was learning how to do the Shoryuken, I would only get it like 20% of the time because I was walking forward and then doing Hadouken. I'm like, wait, it only comes out part of the time. So like the Zangief people doing 720 when they only had to hit how many points on the joystick?
Okay, I got a question.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a beta or a demo before the game comes out?
Right now, we have no plans for a beta or a demo since we're so close to getting the game wrapped up and everything and moving into physical production. It just makes more sense to get the game out to people so that they can play sooner than later.
Yeah, that cat is...
Emiko's such a popular character. People love...
Oh my god, I hated playing Emiko. Like, for some reason, I could not anti-air her.
Yeah, she's a really we've had a tournament in Korea and we've had a tournament in Japan, like just a kind of a fun casual tournament where we actually gave away a Switch to those players. And some of the most popular characters in these 32 player tournaments were Emiko and Kawase.
Really?
Yeah, it's very fun to see the kind of the player tendencies to go towards. It's like a giant, cute, furry cat that's trying to kill you. It's like doing Kuma in Tekken.
It was that. I was actually kind of amused. I forgot who told me, but like, Kawase is supposed to be like a fast, speedy character.
She's a fast character in how she uses her attacks and moves. If you watch like her frames and how she moves, but she's a stronger character as well. So her speed when she's not using her moves is a little different. Similar to her old Super Famicom game, which is I like to call it like Girl Bionic Commando. So Magic Bionic Commando with this cute girl and she sends a fish hook, and when she used a fish hook, they used real physics versus Commando that had kind of canned physics.
Have you seen those speed runs?
Yeah, people are crazy.
Oh my god!
And they love Kawase. So it's really cute to see this character kind of in a more like a kind of like a real dimension. Here you got Curly going up against Lena, who's the last boss of the game.
Whoa! Spoilers!
Spoilers. Yeah, we spoiled it in the opening cinematic. We used an animation company. She's got a uniquely positioned power button for the last
uniquely positioned power button.
I've seen enough anime to know what this is going.
Yeah. I would have said clever, but
yeah, clever. That's right. Yeah.
Power, more power.
Now you're playing with power.
Hell yeah.
So here you go. So you see these curly brace combos right here. You can juggle. Oh, this is it, right?
Oh! Ooh! I've got hit by that 100% of the time with playing somebody earlier.
It also has a knock-up mechanic too. So if you do it, you can knock them up, and then it's kind of a guaranteed juggle if you position it properly.
It's like Cable.
Yeah, a little bit.
And she has missiles going up, right?
Yeah, she has
like
missile
hidden
going up.
missile.
Yeah, she has a missile going up.
Yeah.
Right
there it is. Oh, that is so good.
And then with characters who have sort of I wouldn't say spam, but auto projectile, if she were to get hit before the missile comes back on the screen, it won't appear.
Oh, yeah. That's how you balance it out.
Right.
Otherwise, it'd be too good.
Oh, it'd be too good.
It'd be way too good.
It'd be too good because you just spam
It'd be like Jeff Schaefer. It'd be like, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I used to be everybody in the arcade, but Tomo, yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty.
Man, we need to.
Yeah,
Golfland's houses now. It's so sad, you know.
It's townhomes.
I drive by there.
Yeah.
It's just nice townhome, $1 million townhomes.
It's so crazy, man. So
they've picked it up pretty quick. I'm impressed.
we're going on the tail end of the pregame show, guys. We appreciate all the questions that you guys asked.
I want to play this game more.
Yeah, dude.
Please.
Well, speaking of, I mean, I think I did get a green light to talk about a little bit of the future of what we may be doing with this game. Maybe, you know. I think, yeah, so we love to invite new games to try it out, get the hands on, get the interest going. But we also would like to figure out if the publisher is interested in, giving back to the community right away and letting them, play for it and see if it's something that they can create as their own. Like usually people just play a game, they leave it alone. But why don't we have some special tournaments for the game? Because tournaments are a good way.
As long as they don't have to play you.
As long as that, no. I would be banned from the tournaments, but we love to host tournaments just to get people's to have them to play something, to give it their all. Because casually is one thing, but we want to see the talents of everybody to figure out all the broken stuff. I love all the broken stuff. Trust me. If I see Isaac trapping you in a corner, crying all day, and then just putting bombs in your face and you can't get out, like Doctor and Dark style, I'm gonna be about it. So, we would like to announce. Yeah, we're gonna announce that we're gonna work with my man Tyrone Rodriguez and crew to bring some Blade Stranger tournaments at Wednesday Night Fights. The dates are still to be determined. We're still figuring that out, but we're figuring out some awesome, cool prizes to give out for the community too. So please stay tuned for the announcement. This game is still into development. Release date is not there yet, so we're still working hard and figuring out what would be a good time frame for people to come out and try it. And give you guys ample time to experience the game for yourself. If you haven't come out tonight, of course, you can check out the archive. We're also going to post this on YouTube, just in case you missed anything. But yeah, so please stay tuned. We are going to host some special events for Blade Strangers, so keep on the lookout, man. So Tyrone, yeah, dude, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, bud.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody.
Yeah, for sure. You guys want to see this last match right here before we wrap it up?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
cool.
I just want to put this out there.
Yeah.
I'm low-key bummed that Isaac's Color 2 isn't red.
Oh, those 2P colors aren't final, and also you're not seeing all the unlockable colors.
Make it red. Make it Meat Boy red.
This is Isaac's room. Actually, it's perfect for you right here. This is Isaac's room right here, or a room within Isaac's dungeon right here. So you've got the chest back there.
It's Isaac's room?
It's one of the rooms that you'd encounter while you were actually if Isaac was a 3D game. This is kind of.
Oh right, okay. Oh now I remember. He's he goes to these rooms and it's like a Zelda-ish type of dungeon.
Poop. Sorry.
Yeah.
Poop.
Or boost.
Gunvolt's going to be a really fun character because he's got some pretty. We'll save it for the next time we talk about it, but he's got some pretty unique mechanics compared to some of the other characters right there. So you can
yeah. So I've never figured out what the bullseye changing the colors do.
And people who play Gunvolt know already.
It's a mechanic from his original game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, you shoot the enemy, it locks onto in the original game. You shoot the enemy, it locks onto them, and then you can press a button to discharge electricity to all locked on enemies. Also, someone told me in the chat that Isaac's Color 2 is actually a nod to something in his game, so I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know.
There's a Bible thump in the room, I guess.
Oh man, turn around, dude. Look how crazy it got packed already.
That was great.
Yeah, dude, everybody's out. I'm telling you, man, SoCal comes out around 8 o'clock. Start packing it in. Takes like an hour or so to get here. But
yeah, 5 minutes away, but it takes an hour.
Hey man, you know what? Everybody kept going to LA and the IE arcades before I started to win tournaments, and I made people go to Southern Hills Golfland because I started winning. So it's the same thing, baby. We're here.
It's all back.
It's all back. So all right, that was the last game. Kilby. Again, Tyrone, show one more shot of us before we sign off. All right, again, thank you so much. Nicalis is the.
That's right.
Yes, for bringing Blade Strangers. It is still going to be here for demo play for the fans. One more shout out to you guys for bringing it down, man.
Thanks, Alex.
Much love, Tyrone Rodriguez. And stay tuned for more announcements. We are planning something special with Blade Strangers. So we're going to sign off and go into Wednesday Night Fights tournaments, which is starting very soon. So see you guys in a bit.